I just built this rental automation system whose goal is so quite and simple. So it will simply create a rental agreement between the tenant and the owner of this particular property that we have to deal with. But before explaining the whole logic behind this, I would love to explain you about this the prerequisites of this whole automation system. So obviously for that I will just make things way more simpler. So we just needed a rental agreement, obviously. So I just created a minimal, which was too simple thing. And obviously we need to download it. So I just use it BoldSign to simply automate the whole, agreement stuff and all. For that, I just have to, create a new template and, upload my rental agreement in here. Just a second. See, I just uploaded the rental agreement in here, and obviously, so these are the fields that I wanna, fill up and, you know, add things in the contract, obviously. So I just needed to drag and drop. So let's say here there is a owner signature, right? I just needed to, drag this particular thing over here. So that's how this thing works and all. And obviously, every other thing was also the same. So we can obviously switch the roles too. So and after creating a template out of our uh, own written rental agreement, and after you completed the whole drag and dropping the input fields where we have to fill stuff and all. So you just go and just a second. You just go to the API page over here and create a new API in here. And by the way, testing in BoldSign was free. Okay, so so the thing is, uh, you can obviously test unlimited times with the API stuff and all. And obviously, you have to register a webhook, which we needed. Let's say whenever the both parties sign it, and we may obviously needed the thing like that we may obviously needed that particular thing to trigger our webhook to notify, okay, this particular document was getting signed and the process was got completed and the agreement was completed, has been done successfully. So it will obviously, whenever we just created a webhook over here to our workflow. So this particular webhook will get triggered and stuff. Okay, so these are the prerequisites. And obviously for the API usage, there will be, clear documentation in the bold sign thing. So nothing to worry. So, so right now I will start explaining the logic of this particular workflow, like how it exactly works behind the scenes. Okay, so no worries. So first of all, the tenant will submit a form which exactly looks like this. And there are obviously hidden fields which we have to feed them out there. So the thing is, the name of the tenant and the email of the tenants. And here, the name field, the normal name field was, clearly insisting on the owner. And it was simply hard-coded value because the owner never changes, right? So nothing to worry about it. And if even though if the owner changes, we can obviously use a third-party form provider for that. But right now, I just because I love to keep things so simple, so I just simply hard-coded them for now. So and the email was the owner email and stuff, and the obviously the property email was you know constant for now. So because I'm just doing an example, right? So if I can obviously do multi-property thing, but not with n8n forms. I can use any third-party forms. Okay. So, and the estimated rent, it was also, hidden field and it was hard-coded too. And there is no need for us to create a hidden field over here. We can obviously, create a hidden field. I mean, technically, we can obviously create this particular hard-coded thing over here, but I just, I'm just playing with something, so nothing so complex or things. So the currency in rent, and obviously the checkbox, which exactly, okay. So these are the only things that are, the tenant needs to be submitted his name and email, and that's it. Because, right now I just build only one property stuff, so there is no need for us to give a hell lot of options, which for one property, right? So we just needed the, tenant's name and email. But obviously, I can I can build layers of complexity for this workflow. Just doing this because this is possible. Just to tell the people this particular automation was also goddamn possible. Okay, but it was not easy. But yeah, I simply was the thing. So after the tenant submitted the form, so these were the things I retrieved. Okay, the tenant name, email, the owner's name, email, address, estimated rent, currency, and the expiry date of the contract. And the contract ID, obviously, I just, gave it some random thing. We can obviously, create a dynamic contract ID based on the particular time and the year we are on, so that, there will be no common contract IDs over there. So after that, we will be saving the tenant details. And obviously, for what property that the tenant was even paying, or at least signing up and things. So let me just show you the agreement. So yeah, this is the Google sheet which I have been using for this particular project, because so goddamn simple. And the agreement status was, there will be two options. One is pending signing and completed. But right now, we are not even giving that column. So I just purposefully removed that particular column. I mean, technically, this agreement status, because right now in this particular state, we are only saving the tenant details, right? So we still haven't even sent the document. I mean, the agreement to the client, right? I mean, tenant, right? So that's why I simply removed that particular thing. So I will show you. And this particular workflow will also cover this. So after here this is the main thing. So we will send a HTTP request in post, obviously, to this particular thing, and we just needed to replace the template ID with whenever we simply open this particular template, the template ID was clearly listed in the URL. So we just have to copy that and simply replace here. And the API that I have been telling you guys, so you just have to use a thing called header authentication type. Okay. And over there, you just needed to, save the API key exactly like this. Okay. Just read the documentation. So for, making this project possible, at least for now, you just needed to have some basic knowledge of, not even basic knowledge, and moderate knowledge of, dealing things with API. So, you know, uh, after that, we just gave some header parameters for this, and we should, and every other stuff, whatever the rental agreement, the name of the tenant and the name of the owner and everything, every single stuff that we are, going to, send was completely, lies inside the body. Okay, so this is the main heart of this particular, thing. So we can obviously say that. And the whole data flow was completely dynamic. So it will work exactly, you know, whatever that we are simply gave here. So after that, you know, and by the way, here we are even pre-filling some text boxes, right? So here I am pre-filling the estimated rent with the currency attached to it, and I am pre-filling the property address too. So you just simply keep these things in your mind. So this is how the obviously, and if this particular HTTP node got a success message, then that clearly means it simply sends the client an email about the agreement for both parties. One is owner and another one is the tenant guy. Okay. Only after sending that particular agreement, we will update the status. I mean, we will even set the status to pending signing. Okay. So that's how this first form was even work. And after, there will be a below thing, right? So what exactly does it exactly do is, whenever the both parties simply sign it, I mean sign it the agreement, the events I already told you guys, right? So we have to create a webhook over here. So just a second. And you have to give the webhook URL here and the name of it. And just hear me out. So you just needed this particular event to for this particular webhook. Right? Okay, so because we are only using this particular whole workflow for one single thing. Whenever we just have to uh, trigger this particular workflow only when the agreement that we sent automatically was signed by both parties. Okay, so we only needed to collect and trigger the agreement complete events. Okay, so for that you just have to click you just have to take this one single thing, and obviously uh, for future complexities we can for the scalability of this workflow, we can obviously click on sign in events too. So, which really means whenever even one particular party was signed, this particular webhook will get triggered. So that's how these things work. And obviously, just a second. For this trigger, I simply gave the two events. Technically, the completed event and the signed event. So that's how the things work. And obviously, I have a simple if logic to simply, decide what exactly the event that the webhook got, triggered and all. So if and only the bold sign event was completed, technically the agreement was signed by both parties, then only the completed event will trigger. And if and only we are just, technically filtering the only complete events, and after that, you know. We are extracting the tenant's email from the webhook part. Okay, just because we have to update the Google sheet, right, about yeah, this particular agreement got completed, signed. So that's how this thing works. And that's why we just retrieve with the tenant email using find function. So that's how this things works and all. So let's just see things in action. Okay, so just give me a moment. And by the way, I just forgot to mention this. I just created a simple, Telegram trigger. Telegram thing just to, so that the owner will simply ask in Telegram message. So what exactly, the agreement statuses and what exactly the tenants and all, and what are the estimated rents in combined. So, rather than simply going and doing every single thing in manually in Google Sheets, yeah, the user just needed to, simply ask in the Telegram. So this is a simple logic. So this is nothing fancy. So even the prompt was so goddamn simple. So this is it. So this was not even a complex thing. I just gave it a tool to fetch the rental agreements, which will actively fetch this particular thing. So that's how the things work. So let's say, yeah, let's do the things right now. So okay, so I'm gonna submit. So whenever if everything goes right, works fine, there should be an execution which should be done, okay, right here. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to submit this. Okay, I just submitted the form, n8n form. Let's see. Yeah, there is a trigger happened, and let's see if this particular thing got succeeded or not. Oh, okay, so it was simply got succeeded. Just this second. Yeah, so as I already told you now, if this particular thing was completely fine, then only the agreement status should be automatically triggered. So which really means I should be receiving two emails. Uh, I the owner and the tenant should be receiving the emails to sign the stuff and all. Okay, so I will I will go and sign the thing right now. So this was the owner thing. So okay, so here only whenever the owner open, only the owner's elements will get triggered. So just don't even get things. So these every single things for pre-filled. Just have a look over there. Okay, the agreements thing and the owner's name and the property address, and whenever this particular agreement will be getting started, and what's the exact expiry date for this agreement, and what exactly the monthly rent for their and owner's signature. So just because I'm signing from owner's point of view, so I will be only showing this particular field dynamically. So I just have to click on it and can use thing and click on finish, so that one particular thing will get triggered. And I will show you. So the second part should be triggered, but it should be get filtered in the if node itself because it was only a signed event. Just a second, I will show you guys. Nothing to worry. Yeah, see, the second workflow was triggered, but it was got filtered in with if node. Let me just show you the data flow. So yeah, see, the bold sign event was only signed, but here the workflow will only get continued when and only the bold sign event was completed, right? So this particular thing got filtered out, and uh, we needed to sign from tenant side tenant side too, right? So I will even sign this particular thing too. So okay, so sorry for this. I can obviously open this just because these two things for you know under same thing, right? So so the owner signature was also completed. So I simply using I mean referring this particular contract via tenant side. Okay, so tenant name was already got filled and name and the date that we are going to that the tenant that he was going to sign was also filled, auto filled, and I just have to click here and let's say uh, that was pretty lame signature, I should say. But anyway, this is just a demo, right? So yeah, yeah, the thing got completed and we should be receiving another webhook right here. Yeah, see, there are two events. One should be the signed event because the tenant was also signed, and another one is completed one, and that should trigger and update the Google Sheet as completed, right? Just a second. Yeah, see, the agreement status was completed and everything was completely automated. No manual work was there. The manual work was only there where both parties needed to sign. So come on, who the hell will sign automatically with API, right? So people have to read the terms and conditions before signing any contract. So that particular thing, don't even ask why I haven't even automated that stuff. So that would be illogical. So